Jack Nicholson is one of the most legendary actors of all time, and his son Ray Nicholson just might be following in his footsteps. In Borderline, he channels some of that signature Nicholson crazy, but does the movie itself live up to the performance?
Look at that! Friends already.
Let's get all units to Cassowary Tabernacle.
JH, put the gun away. What kind of way is that to treat our guests?
Crazy bitch! Oh God! Get out of my house!
That is such bad luck, Sophia!
Please help yourself to champagne and first aid.
You put a priest in a box?
No, I put a pastor in a box. We're Protestant.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about Borderline, a new comedy thriller now available on VOD. This one stars Samara Weaving, one of the reigning queens of horror, and Ray Nicholson, the son of the legendary Jack Nicholson. It's directed by Jimmy Warden, who, fun fact, is actually married to Samara Weaving. But does this family collaboration deliver a solid movie, or is it one you can skip? Let's get into it. Before we dive into the review, if you enjoy my content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future reviews. And if you want to support the channel even further, check out my Patreon in the description below. You can request a movie review for $5 a month, or just support the channel and my content for $1 a month. Any amount goes a long way. Set in 1990s Los Angeles, the movie follows a pop star played by Samara Weaving, whose home is broken into by an obsessive fan played by Ray Nicholson. But this isn't just any crazed stalker. He's recently escaped from a mental institution and is fully convinced that he and the pop star are destined to be married. As the night unfolds, he manipulates everything around them to create a twisted wedding atmosphere, blurring the line between delusion and reality. It's a setup that should lend itself well to dark humor and tension. But does it deliver? Let's start with the positives. The biggest standout here is Ray Nicholson. This guy looks just like his dad. But beyond the resemblance, he captures that same kind of unhinged energy that made Jack Nicholson so compelling to watch. His performance is easily the most engaging part of the movie. He fully leans into the obsessive, delusional nature of his character, and there are moments where he's genuinely unsettling. He switches between being charismatic and terrifying in a way that keeps you on edge. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being his breakout role, because he proves here that he has the screen presence to carry a movie. Then there's Samara Weaving. She's always solid, and while her character isn't given as much depth as I would have liked, she does her best with the material. She's been great in genre films like Ready or Not and The Babysitter, and she brings that same commitment here. She has a few standout moments, especially when her character is trying to outwit her stalker. The script doesn't give her as much to work with as it should. The action, while not groundbreaking, does have its moments. There are some tense and well-staged sequences where the fight for survival is actually engaging. You can tell the budget wasn't huge, and there are moments where it feels like they had to pull back on the intensity, but there are still some fun, chaotic moments that keep things from getting completely dull. And I have to give a nod to the soundtrack. There are a lot of catchy songs throughout that really help capture the 90s vibe. Even if the movie itself didn't always work for me, I can't deny that the music was a highlight. There are definitely some tracks here that I'd listen to again outside of the movie. Now on to the issues, and there are quite a few. First off, the pacing. The first two acts drag so much. It takes forever for the plot to really get going, and by the time it does, you might already be checked out. The setup is intriguing, but the movie spends way too much time meandering before things escalate. A movie like this should be tight and energetic, but instead it feels bogged down by unnecessary moments that don't add much to the story. Another big issue is the sheer number of characters. For a story this simple, there are just too many people in the mix. Instead of really focusing on the dynamic between Nicholson and Weaving, the movie introduces side characters that don't contribute much. It almost feels like the script was trying to pad out the runtime instead of really honing in on the core conflict. If the movie had just focused more on the cat and mouse game between the two leads, I think it would have been a lot more effective. Then there's Weaving's character. As much as I like her as an actress, she's just not given much to work with here. Her character just isn't that likable, which wouldn't be an issue if she had a compelling arc, but she really doesn't. She starts off as this jaded pop star, and by the end of the movie, she's pretty much the same person. There's no real transformation or growth, which makes it hard to get invested in her survival beyond just wanting to see Nicholson's character get what's coming to him. But my biggest issue? The comedy. This is supposed to be a comedy thriller, but the humor did absolutely nothing for me. And that's a massive problem when your movie is primarily a comedy. The humor is either too forced, trying to be edgy in a way that doesn't land, or just completely falls flat. There's a specific kind of dark comedy that works really well in thrillers like this. Think American Psycho or even Ingrid Goes West. Borderline doesn't find that balance. It's too exaggerated to be truly unsettling, but not clever enough to actually be funny. So overall, Borderline has a few things going for it. Ray Nicholson gives a great performance, Samara Weaving does her thing, the action has its moments, and the soundtrack is actually pretty solid. But the sluggish pacing, overcrowded cast, weak character work, and unfunny comedy really hold it back. It has an interesting premise, but it never fully capitalizes on it. In the end, I'm giving Borderline a 2.5 out of 5. It's not the worst thing out there, but it's not something I'd go out of my way to recommend. If you're a huge Samara Weaving fan, or you're curious to see Ray Nicholson in action, it might be worth a watch. But if you're looking for a well-paced, darkly comedic thriller, this probably isn't it. But what do you think? Have you checked out Borderline yet? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, be sure to like and subscribe for more. And if you'd like to request a review or just support the channel, you can head over to my Patreon, which will be linked in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.